Wow. The Milwaukee Bucks have taken the 3-2 lead in the Eastern Conference Finals with that win over the Hawks at home. Brook Lopez actually led the offensive effort with Giannis Antetokounmpo sidelined with that hyperextended knee that he suffered in Game 4. The series will now, of course, shift back to Atlanta for Game 6 Saturday night on TNT. I'm Kristen Ledlow. He's Jason Terry. He's Brennan Haywood. We're going to be with you for all of the post-game coverage as we wait for coaches and players to take the podium and address the media. We've got to start there with Brook Lopez, a playoff career high, 33 points in this one, Jet.
Yeah, Brook came out early. He had it on his mind, and he wasn't settling for threes. He was very dominant in the paint. And this is the Brook Lopez that, we want to see. And you're going to have to see. 2 or 3 times, he got rebounds, second chance opportunities off of free throws.
Right.
And that's one of the coach's pet peeves. We can't give up opportunities on the defensive rebounds.
I think this is the Brook Lopez that I used to play against when he was playing in New Jersey. Maybe date myself because I played in New Jersey back in the day. But when he played with the New Jersey Nets, he was a force inside. And when you look at Brook Lopez tonight, 14 of 18 from the field. Jet, only 2 threes, though.
That's it.
Only 2 threes. I know they call him Splash Mountain, and the big fella has range, but he also has game inside, and he can still affect the game in the paint. And he did that tonight. He had some good offensive rebounds, but more importantly, he was finishing everything. Turned back the hands of time. Brook Lopez was a monster inside.
Because that was the primary concern with Giannis sidelined, is how you make up for his production in the paint. Our Stephanie Reddy is covering the Eastern Conference Finals for TNT, and she caught up with Brook after the game. What was the difference? Bobby Portis also with a career playoff high. He had 22 points in this one. So, Brendan, if we were concerned about where the Bucks were going to make up for some scoring, those 2 guys answered the call.
Yeah, Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis, man, they turned back the hands of time. They were looking like they were looking like Tim Duncan and David Robinson in there. Like, they were the dynamic duo inside, and Bobby Portis, he did it with his energy. Yep. He just made those hustle plays. You saw him getting out in transition. Every time he did something, he was getting the crowd involved. And when they asked the coaching staff about what Bobby Portis brings to this team, they talked about his energy, the enthusiasm. You need that guy that just has his own set of oomph with them, and Bobby Portis brought that tonight and played incredibly well. They couldn't have got this win without both their bigs playing to the extraordinary level that they did.
No doubt, and they needed it because, again, without Giannis, who was going to fill that void? Well, Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis did it, and you said it, with his energy, his effort, right? And though he's a bench player, now he's thrust into the lineup. He didn't change who he was. He's a guy that can score. He got out in transition. He ran. He can hit spot-up threes. He shot a career high from 3 this year. So he didn't stray away from who he was. And his energy was just infectious all night long on both ends of the floor.
Brendan, another guy that you pointed out as being a potential X factor in the win or perhaps even the loss for the Milwaukee Bucks in this one was going to be Jrue Holiday. He did then become the first player in Bucks history with multiple 25-point, 10-assist games in a postseason. I mean, what did you see from him that allowed him to be as effective as he was?
Well, obviously with no Giannis, Jrue had the ball in his hands a lot more, so he was able to get into a comfort zone and get into a rhythm. Once again, in previous stops in his career, he's had the ball more. So being playing that third role, that third banana, is a little bit different for him. So at times, sometimes he gets lost in the shuffle, but not tonight. He understood, hey, I got to be aggressive. I got to get down the lane. And whether he was looking to make plays for Brook Lopez or he was looking to make plays for himself, he was doing what he needed to do as far as cutting, dribbling, getting down the lane, and creating a problem. He still mixed in his step-back jumpers, but I love how I love how Milwaukee attacked this matchup tonight. They really got it done in the paint. They outscored Atlanta 66-36 in the paint, and that's where the game was won.
What is it that went wrong for the Hawks in this one? Apart from the obvious, you're missing Trae Young, but
right.
They were missing him in Game 4 as well, Chet.
Well, they didn't make shots. I mean, there was plenty of times where the lead was 9, it was 11. And then they had opportunities, wide open 3. They get a steal, come down, another wide open 3, and they just didn't make shots. And that's what tends to happen to young teams on the road in pressure situations. Had they been in Atlanta in old school Phillips Arena, now it's not called that, but had they been at home like they were in Game 4, those shots may have failed. Now, I will give Atlanta Hawks credit. They fought to the end.
Yeah.
This was a 10-point ball game with a minute and a half, two minutes left, and they're a couple shots away, a couple possessions away from making it really interesting. But, hey, can't worry about it. You know you're going home now. Hopefully you can get Trae Young healthy, and that will give you a much-needed boost. But they need him, man. He's the engine that makes them go. He is why they're in the Western Conference Finals right now.
Yeah, and like you said, you talk about Atlanta didn't make shots. I think one of the reasons that Milwaukee won is the quality of shot. Atlanta missed some shots, but Milwaukee, they got a lot easier shots. Look at that three that we just showed from Bobby Portis. That's what he does. Like you said, he played his game. He didn't have to do anything special. I'm spotted up. I'm shooting my three. I'm getting out in transition. Brook Lopez, it wasn't like he was taking a bunch of step-back jumpers. He was dunking because Drew Holiday was setting the table for him. So those guys got a high quality of shot. Milwaukee as a team got a high quality of shot, and that's why they dominated the paint. Jet, I know you were a shooter back in the day, and everybody on the analytics department says you got to shoot the long ball to win nowadays. But listen, take it from an old big like myself, there's still some gold to be had in that paint. And if you can dominate that paint, you can dominate the game because you dominate the paint and then you get your threes once you cause a problem inside the paint.
Which is something that most thought wouldn't happen for the Bucks with Giannis sidelined. So operating under the assumption that there is no Giannis in Game 6, there is no Trae in Game 6, neither of which have been officially ruled out by either team at this point, what can be done differently by the Hawks in order to perhaps slow down what we did see happen in this one?
Well, I think if you're the Hawks, when you start off the game, you have to take care of the offensive glass. In the first quarter, Milwaukee's able to get into a rhythm because when they miss shots, they were able to get offensive rebounds, second, third chances, and now you start to get your confidence up. So Nate McMillan's going to say, hey, guys, this team is a good team even without Giannis. We can't give them easy opportunities. We have to win the battle on the glass. We cannot afford to get abused like we did in the first quarter of this game.
Yeah, Milwaukee really talked about it before the game in pregame about the physicality, how physical Atlanta was in Game 4. Milwaukee was the much more physical team. And then you want to talk strategically, offensively. They weren't putting Brook Lopez in pick and rolls and dropping the coverage. They were switching. So that adjustment has to be made. How do we attack a switching defense now of the Milwaukee Bucks? And hopefully Nate McMillan will go to the drawing board, watch the film, and figure it out.
All fair questions for Coach McMillan, and he's addressing the media now.
What was your assessment of what went wrong in that first quarter in those first few minutes?
Just they were more physical. They hit us in the mouth, and we just did not recover from that. You know, they were aggressive, 28 points in the paint in the first quarter. I mean, it's just, no defense on the ball, no defense off the ball. Weak side help was not there. They were the more physical, more aggressive team from start to finish tonight.
Jeff?
Yeah, Nate, following that up, how do you explain the lack of defense in the middle of the paint?
I can't. What I said to our guys before the game, the team that has been the more aggressive team to start the game has won every game in this series. And this was a very similar game to the game that we played here, where they came out very aggressive after losing their game. We came out aggressive after dropping a game at home, and a very similar game. So, we knew that they were going to come with that sense of urgency. Tonight, they were going to continue to attack even without Giannis in the lineup. That's just how they play. We knew that they would look to go to Lopez more, and they did. And they just dominated the paint tonight.
The Bucks take the 3-2 lead. Mike Budenholzer is also addressing the media.
Yeah, no, I think there was, great opportunity for him to, I think just get the ball a little bit more, try and use him a little bit more. And he came through big time. There's a couple, where he just, he made plays, but he did it in a lot of different ways. He did it in pick and roll. He did it on the offensive glass, got to the free throw line. Just an overall, really, really impressive effort. He's such a great teammate. He always wants to be there. He wants to deliver for his team, and he stepped up big tonight.
Is that one of those where when you don't have one of the best at the rim scorers in basketball, that the other 7-footer has just more space, more chances to get to good-looking spots for him? You know what I mean? Where he doesn't kind of have to move around as much.
I think it's just, we had to figure out a way to give ourselves a chance. And Brooke getting to the paint, Brooke scoring there was good. He's done it, really his whole career. So, and just credit to him. I thought Bobby was great. Both those guys played well together. Chris and Drew, I think set the table the way they came out to start the first quarter. It's just, we got to get ready to do it again now.
I think at halftime, Drew had assisted on 5 of the 7 buckets that Brooke had. It felt like it was a real priority every time he got into the lane that Brooke just ran straight to the front of the rim. What do you think of their connection tonight, and then Drew's aggressiveness off the dribble?
Yeah, both were good. I think Drew's just, he's a great point guard. I think seeing and understanding and getting Brooke, more involved, getting Bobby more involved, but at the same time himself being aggressive. I thought he set the tone with, his baskets early and his aggressiveness, and, we got to be ready to have that same kind of edge and same mentality going into the next game.
I think to start the fourth quarter, Chris has the ball in his hands on something like 6 possessions. It's a couple assists, a couple buckets. Just what do you think of his job to kind of close the door?
Yeah, no, I think we gave Drew a break there to start the fourth quarter, and so Chris and Brooke and maybe Bobby a little bit, and just playing 2-man game. I thought that the start of the quarter to be able to give Drew a little bit of a break. Chris was able to kind of handle that responsibility.
Obviously, that was a big starting lineup that you guys had out there tonight. What do you think of the guys' ability to obviously understand that they're supposed to be big and then go out and play in that way?
Yeah, no, they're smart players. It's a credit to those guys to figure it out, and I think it gives us a physicality, a defensive, just an ability, hopefully to guard them. Both teams scored at a high rate, scored a lot of points. So hopefully we can get better defensively and still play and score when we need to, or at a high rate offensively.
If you had to put your finger on it, why do you think Milwaukee fans go absolutely insane for Portis the way they do?
He just plays with great passion. I think his passion is infectious. His teammates love him. The fans love him. He brings that passion for the game, for life. He's fun to be around. I think the crowd can feel that. His teammates can feel that. Coaches can feel it. He works. He's a worker too. So I think it's a little bit of everything. But passion to me is the thing he brings to the game.
And the other question I had was whether it was before the start of this series, once you knew you were going to play the Hawks, or at any point during the series, does it ever cross your mind that there was a brief moment where you thought Bogdanovich would be on your side?
No.
Following up on Joe's first question, I know there's a joy in just winning at this point, right? But for a player like Bobby, watching him do it and the loudness and that infectious word that you used, is there a different type of joy in watching him enjoy doing this?
Just when guys work hard, you like for them to be rewarded. He's prepared. He wants, just like Brooke, they want to be there for their team. And that kind of selflessness, and when you see it manifest itself on the court. But, we got to bottle all that up and get ready to go on the road and play. Find a way to handle that. And, Bobby, the whole group, we got to be ready to go.
Stephen Darby?
Y'all dug yourselves a pretty deep hole in games 3 and 4 really early. This game, you're up 20 like that. How were you able to kind of turn things around, and how much did y'all prioritize getting up to a faster start after what happened the last couple games?
Yeah, Drew and Chris, came out and I think put their stamp on the game early. I just like their aggressiveness early. I like, we were able to get some stops. But you can't just push a button or say a magic word or something like that. We got a good group. They're good players. They played well tonight, and they understand what we got to do going forward.
Last one in the room to Jeff Zilgett.
Mike, you said it's difficult to keep Giannis away from the gym, his teammates. I know you're coaching tonight, but what did you notice about his involvement with his teammates and maybe even the coaching staff tonight?
Yeah, no, I mean, several times, just noticing the, the communication, the trying to find a way to help the team any way he can, even when, he's not able to dress and play. And I saw a guy that was, locked in and trying to talk to his teammates and be there with them. And, that's what we need from everybody.
2 on Zoom to Eric.
Any Goodwill?
Hey, Coach, Bobby didn't play in 3 of the games in the last series, last 3 against Brooklyn. What does it say about him, about his readiness, that he's been able to produce so much and he stayed so focused even while he had so much inactive time?
Yeah, it's a great credit to him. The maturity, and there's a mental toughness that when, you're not getting to play and you want to be out there, you want to help your team to stay ready, to understand every series is a little bit different. His energy and him, whether he's playing or in the game, not playing or he's in the game, he's still got, great energy, and he's there for us.
All right, that's it. Thanks, bud.
All right, thanks, guys.
We're going to need that going forward as well.
You think he can bring it on the road?
He's going to have to. I'm telling you right now, because the Hawks have already proven at home they're tough. They're diehard fans, which I can't remember, but there are some diehard fans here in Atlanta.
Oh, no, they out now.
They really get after it.
Hey, man, they were playing We Ready and everything after the game. That's a different type of crowd.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. They wasn't doing that in Dallas. But.
123 to 112, the final score as the Bucks take the 3-2 lead in the Eastern Conference Finals. Danilo Gallinari added 19 points on 5 of 11 from the field, and he's at the podium now.
You guys did such a good job keeping the Bucks out of the paint in Game 4 on defense. What allowed them to be able to get in there so frequently tonight in Game 5?
We didn't do a good job with that tonight. They definitely got us in the paint. We scored way too much in the paint, and we need to do a better job with that, especially start of the game, first half. They were just going in and crashing the boards, so they were way better than us in the paint, like you said. And so if we want to win a game, we need to definitely get better with that.
Chris Kirshner.
You were on the bench for obviously the first couple of minutes in the first quarter. What were you seeing out there for the reasons why the Bucks were just attacking you guys?
They were just a more aggressive team, intense energy. We didn't match, their intensity, their energy. And they were just, able to do whatever they wanted, and that's similar to what we did in Game 4. And so, we definitely need to start the game better and not let them be the aggressive team.
Jeff Schultz.
I'm sure when you're on the bench or you're on the court, you're seeing what's happening. I'm sure you're being told by coaches what's happening. Are you just, when you're out there, are you just feeling sort of a step slow in terms of getting to the inside?
I think it's a mental thing that you just gotta do it. I mean, we knew that they were gonna be aggressive. We knew that they were gonna be intense. They're playing at home, and so. We just got to do a better job with that intensity and the energy. We just didn't bring it at the beginning of the game. We had played pretty good 3 quarters, but the first quarter was tough.
Back to Chris.
Obviously, you guys have been counted out many times this season. It's 3-2 right now. Does it at least give you a little bit of confidence that you have been in this position before and won?
Yeah, we have a lot of confidence. That's something that we had since the beginning of the season. Like you said, we've been here before. We're in the Eastern Conference Finals, and so we have a lot of basketball to play. And so, of course, the next game is we need to get the next one, and we will. So we'll be ready for the next one.
On to Zoom.
Davide. Danilo, obviously things didn't go your way, but what do you think made the difference apart from the first quarter?
They, like I said before, they had a better rhythm in the game, offensively, defensively. They had more energy and more intensity than us throughout the whole game. Especially, going, attacking the board and dominating the board. But I thought that they played a very good, team ball and team basketball. And like I said, with the intensity that we did not match.
Leonardo Torres.
Hi, Gallo. It's Leonardo Torres from Peru. Hope you're well. Gallo, despite the loss, what positives you can take away from this loss, thinking about the Game 6 in Atlanta?
I think that this was a tough game. So yes, we did a couple of good things, but we still lost the game, and so we know what we need to do to win games. We know that we need to be aggressive and intense for 48 minutes, especially against a very good team like them. And so we know what the recipe is. We just got to do it for 48 minutes. We cannot have ups and downs during the game.
Thank you, Gallo.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
As we listen to these guys start to take the podium and address the media, answering questions after that game, I mean, they're talking as if they have to plan for these next couple of games without their superstars on the floor. So if you are the Hawks, if you are the Bucks, are you game planning differently for games 6 and potentially a game 7 than you were for those first 4?
Well, if I'm the Bucks, my game plan is the same as tonight.
Yeah, which worked, right? Yeah,
Hey, punish them inside. We're the bigger team. Hey, Brooke, we're not gonna have you standing in the corner tonight. We're gonna get you inside a little bit more. Bobby, bring that same energy. I need your Twin Towers to still do what you do. Yep. And then I'm gonna say, hey, Drew, be more aggressive the way he was tonight. So if I'm Milwaukee, I'm gonna do the same thing that I did in Game 5 and Game 6. Yep. Now, if I'm Atlanta, I'm gonna have to switch some things. Hey, we can't allow them to get second chance points the way we did to start this game. That gave those guys confidence. We're going to have to guard Drew Holiday a lot better, show him a little bit more attention, especially now that Giannis isn't out there. Mm-hmm. We have to shift our attention and treat him like the special player that he is. Same thing with Chris Middleton. So there's some things that Atlanta can do differently offensively and on the defensive end. But it starts with, hey, we can't get doubled up in the paint. We can't score 36 points in the paint, but allow them to score 66. We can't allow that to happen.
Right, and Atlanta, 14 turnovers tonight. I just thought in the half court they really struggled, right? They didn't have Trae Young to kind of facilitate and get those lobs at the rim, the easy baskets, because of the switching defense. They need to get out in transition, especially at home. Run.
Only 7 fast break points.
Run.
Only 7 fast break points.
You got to get out and run. Use those athletes. And if they can do that, they'll put some pressure on the Milwaukee Bucks, and they got to play more physical. As physical as they were in Game 4, they had none of that tonight. No presence whatsoever.
And it started from so early on in the game, nearly a 20-point lead that was established in that first quarter. I was interested to see that the Bucks starters had 111 of their 123 points. So how is it that you establish that pace early on when you don't want them to get out to such an early lead and play from behind the entirety of the game?
Well, for Atlanta, if you want to establish pace, first thing it starts with is what? Defensive stops. Yep. You got to get your stops, and then you got to secure the rebound. That's what Nate McMillan was talking about. Hey, we got punched in the mouth. They were more physical. They grabbed the offensive board. So you got to get the defensive rebounds, and then you have to have that concentrated effort where everybody just gets out and runs. There's no lollygagging. You got to go out there and get in those lanes, fill those lanes, and force Milwaukee to play at your pace. Every time that you get a stop, get out and run. Make them play your type of game, because if you're Atlanta, you don't have Trae Young. And Trae Young's a different type of superstar. When we look at Milwaukee, Giannis normally gets his points, and then he gets his rebounds. But with Trae, he gets his 30 points, and he brings you 8, 9, 10 assists. So they're missing a lot in the half court. They're missing a scorer and a facilitator. How do you make up for that? Get easy points in transition.
Right, but they also recorded their largest win of the postseason by 22 points in Game 4. So schematically, what was the difference in this one for the Hawks?
Well, it just, again, you got outworked. You got out-hustled. The loose balls, the offensive rebounds that you gave up. I just think they're just a young team that really didn't understand. This was a tremendous opportunity. If they had won this game, do you know how much pressure it would have been coming back here to Atlanta for those Milwaukee Bucks?
Oof.
So they're just young. And, again, without Trae Young, those guys have to step up. Now, I will give them credit. I mean, offensively, they scored 112 points. They put up 34 in the second, another 36 points in the fourth.
And kept it interesting the whole way until the end.
They're going to fight. They're not going to just lay down. And I can see them making it a tough ball game in Game 6 and maybe coming out with a victory, forcing a Game 7.
I hear we've got a few highlights cooked up of Brook Lopez, who, Brendan, had his career night in this one. Break down what the big man was doing.
Brook Lopez was just getting it done in the paint. And the big, he screened and he rolled. And then a lot of times he also did something else. When somebody drove the ball, he followed him to the basket. I don't know how many times when you would drive to the basket, you'd be like, hey, Wood, just follow me. And next thing you know, you drop it. You just drop it off right there. And they were so used to you shoot. When you drop it off, then I get an easy dunk and you know what that does? Now you get a couple more shots because they like, man, we don't want to see this guy dunking all game long. That's an easier shot. So when your guard goes to the basket, when you're a big man, yeah, you can. I know you can shoot threes, but you got to diversify your portfolio. Sometimes you stay on the perimeter. Sometimes you read the defense and you cut right down the middle and make that difference and make that defense feel you. That's what Brook Lopez did tonight. Yep. He made the Atlanta Hawks defense feel him in the paint, and he was the difference. 33 big points.
And it pads Brendan's stats as well. So, we all win.
Hey, man. Hey, my man used to look out. My man used to look out for me. My first bucket in Dallas, he told me, he said, hey, Wood, it's a back screen right here. And you're going to slide on the lane and get you wide open for a dunk in OKC. Yes, sir. It happened just like he said it.
I can't believe you.
I was like, man, he was my best friend ever since.
Wow.
Yeah.
I bet we could find that highlight. Guys,
probably
start
can.
working
Go
on
ahead.
that.
It's okay.
We, for good reason, have been talking a lot about Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis because of their playoff career highs. But Chris Middleton, of course, the all-star, an X-factor in this one, and we start to take for granted what he's done. With 26 points, 13 rebounds, and 8 assists. What worked so well for him, Jet?
Well, he was very efficient tonight, but in the paint. Points in the paint are critical against this Atlanta Hawks team. And if they can continue to do this without Giannis, then they'll be going to the finals.
And a difference in his shooting from deep, 2 for 6 from three-point land as opposed to 0 for 7 in the last game. But let's get back to the Hawks, as Bogdanović, of course, as I mentioned earlier, led the Hawks effort with 28 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. He's addressing the media now.
Hey, Boogie. Did you feel like you guys came out flat tonight, and then it was just kind of putting yourself in a situation where you have to climb out of that big hole?
I mean, like Coach said at the beginning of the game, they punched us in the face right away, and we couldn't find the rhythm and we couldn't find the way to stop them, later on, and it's hard to chase the 20-point lead the whole game. It takes a lot of energy, but it's a one game. We've been here before, and on to the next one.
Chris? What were the specific reasons for why you think you guys came out flat in that first quarter?
I don't know right now, really. Maybe a couple turnovers, couple defensive plays, a couple box outs as well, and they got in the first quarter they got 26, 28 points in the paint out of 34 or something like that, and they got their rhythm. It's harder to stop later on.
Tim?
Bogey, you mentioned the number of points in the paint. I think they had 28 in the first quarter, 44 in the first half. You guys were so good in that area in Game 4. And Brook Lopez in particular was able to kind of get to the rim at will. What did they do differently to get him going the way they did tonight?
I mean, probably they, when they saw that Giannis wasn't playing, they had to find other guys, but we have to do a better job, in these adjustments. These adjustments are live, and we expect them, we talked about it, we expect them to be more aggressive, especially with Brook, and the game is over right now, so nothing else.
I know you didn't want to talk much about your personal performance after Game 4, but you had another strong game today. Are you feeling better as the series goes along?
It's same, yeah, my answer is same.
I figured I'd try.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Chris Kirschner?
You guys were obviously down 3-2 in the last series and ended up winning. Does it at least give you a little bit of confidence that it can't be done again?
I feel like no one in the locker room lost the confidence, even tonight after the bad start, even after the game. But, it's a different series, obviously, and we're going to keep believing it.
All right, we'll take questions via Zoom.
Bobby Portis was inserted into the starting lineup for Giannis and finished with a playoff career high 22. Here he is.
City, we was meeting with, some people over the start of the season, about January, February, and they were just telling us all about the city and how tough it is to live here and things like that. And, the city goes through a lot. So when they see somebody that gives this all and, work hard, because it's a blue-collar city, and I'm a blue-collar player, whether I'm making shots, whether they're going in or not, I still give my all to the team, get 100% for the name on the front of the jersey, and they love players like that. And it's just fun, man, to go out there and play this game, and have the home court advantage as well, and just to get them involved, just so we can have that home court advantage.
See, I know you've said on a number of occasions that you had other offers, more lucrative offers, and you wanted the playoff stage. Just what's it been like to this playoff atmosphere?
Great, man. Coming here was one of the best decisions for my career-wise, man. I started off my career kind of shaky, up and down, a lot of highs, a lot of lows as well. And, when you first come into the NBA, you don't really understand the journey. You just, come from college. I was my best player on my team, player of the year, All-American in high school. So when I first got to the league, wasn't playing a lot, didn't really understand, was, kind of lost in the shuffle a little bit. If I fought my way in, played some, went through a lot of altercations and things like that. But, it's the journey is what makes it sweet, man, in the NBA. You really can't, put a tab. It was the best decision, like I said, in my career. Having good veterans like, Giannis and Brook to coach me up on, how to be, a two-way player on the defensive end and things like that. Having guys like Chris and Drew that's unselfish, that can put the ball in the hole but still trust me to shoot my shots. And having coaches like Coach Bud and, Coach Ham and all the coaching staff that just believe in me. It was just a great business decision on that tip.
Eric?
Bobby, when I watch you play, it feels like joy. Like that's like the word that I just look. What does it feel like?
Finally found peace, man. I'm at peace with myself. I'm at peace with my life and peace with everything going on around me. Was always just trying to find it again. Really couldn't find it, but having great teammates and great coaches. And the pandemic, like I said, it really helped me find out more about myself more than anything. Being at home for 9-10 months straight, watching guys on TV play in the bubble, not being able to go there really hurt. Being at home, my mom was actually fun though as well. Getting to spend time with her. But knowing I loved the game, I had to sit out a lot and just wait my time. But I got a chance to really work on my game a lot, so that kind of helped me prepare for the moment. But at the same time, it still hurt.
You're someone that obviously plays very aggressive on the glass, getting to do everything in the paint. What do you think of Drew's start and then just Brooks seemingly being all?
You see that dunk Brook had? That was crazy. Like we was talking about it. That was, I don't know, man. That was he dunked it so hard. Like that was crazy too. Like I didn't think he had a chance of even catching that. But I think guys don't even understand how athletic Brook is to do the things he does. And, he's a great basketball player, but that dunk right there, I was at the top of the key and I saw him catch. I'm like, man, ain't no way he catching that. That's out of bounds. Then he dunked it. I'm like, yeah, that was a special moment. Got the crowd really, really hyped too, and from there it was our game.
Bobby, series was tied. It's 3-2, game away. I know you're trying to stay in the moment, but how important? Maybe it goes without saying, but how important was it to not just bounce back?
To be at home, you got to take her home. You have to take her the home court advantage, man. I think the pressure is more on the home team to win, man. When your road team come in, if they lose, they're like, okay, cool, we can go home and try to win at home again. But I think we had to win the game, and knowing that the situation we was in, one of the best players in the world went down on our team. So Other guys had to step up, and guys stepped up and played the role to the T. And it was fun, man, playing in that game tonight. The crowd was involved from the start. Got the chance to go out there and play basketball that we love, and it was a blast.
Bobby, you've talked about taking advantage of any and every opportunity you've been given, but starting in the Eastern Conference Finals when Giannis is out, what did that mean to you, and what were you kind of telling yourself in terms of?
I was just trying to stay locked in. Like I said, coming here was a good decision for me. When you're on a losing team, like I said, man, you kind of take the moment for granted. You're just out there playing and trying to get stats or whatever. But when I came here, guys was locked in. Chris always on me about boxing out and rebounding and things like that. Coach Bud always on me about the low man. Giannis always about me about shooting the shots, stop pump faking. So guys really trusting me, and having guys like that, it just makes it much funner to play the game. Knowing that, Giannis went down, and we had to step up, and I think that's what makes the game that much better. When you have to stay locked in and stay in the moment and be ready. I didn't play the last couple games in the Brooklyn series, but I didn't pout. I just kept working and knew my time was going to come. And I always just believe in, when you do the things the right way, you do right, it always come back around. The cream always rises to the top. I just try to stay in the moment and be a team guy. So, and I give it all the credit to my teammates and the coaches for just trusting in me.
Jeff, and then we'll go to Zoom call.
Bobby, I know you've started games before, but this is your first playoff start. How did you get the news? When did Bud tell you, and what was your reaction?
I worked out yesterday in the gym, and they was kind of hinting around to it, but I didn't really think I was going to start. And then I came into the shoot-around this morning, and we did our little film. The coach said, you're going to start in total line. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm ready then. I go out there and start. And it was fun, though, man, but still got one more game. I'm a big-time believer in 12 o'clock rule. When 12 o'clock comes, then it's on to the next one. So let's enjoy the 12.
Mark Schwartz.
Hey, Bobby, you talked about Brooke being more athletic than people realize and the dunk that he had. How would you describe kind of what got into him tonight? I mean, we're so used to watching him.
I mean, Brooke a beast, man. Brooke a beast. The games that Giannis did sit out this year, I mean, Brooke, he went crazy in all those games that we played. He had monster numbers in those games, so. We already know what we're gonna get out of Brooke. He protects the rim, he plays hard. He's a team guy. He's fun to play with, man. He's a joy to be alongside. So what got into him was just him being himself, knowing that the situation that we were in, and he wasn't gonna let the team down.
Thanks, Bobby. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.